Rue slowly begins rebuilding her life after rehab, waking up each morning with the uneasy feeling that sobriety is something fragile she's holding together with shaking hands. She writes in a journal, hoping the pages can hold what her voice cannot. Her mother watches from a quiet distance, unsure whether to express pride or fear. Gia avoids conversations, torn between wanting to trust her sister again and wanting to protect herself from another heartbreak. Rue keeps thinking about Elliot, his voice, their chemistry, their regrets, and wonders if she deserves a life that doesn't hurt. Every time she tries to apologize to Gia, the words tangle in her chest, reminding her that healing is not something she can rush. Jules returns with emotions she doesn't know how to organize. Guilt, hope, confusion, and a strange sense of independence she's never felt before. When she and Rue unexpectedly cross paths at a cafe, their silence feels louder than their words. Jules wants to reach for her, but Rue's guarded eyes keep her still. Later, Jules cries alone, finally understanding why Rue needs space, but also fearing that space might become distance. She remembers the intimacy they once shared, now held together by memory rather than trust. Fez, recovering from the raid, moves through his house like a ghost. Every corner reminds him of Ashtray. The echoes, the empty bed, the silence that replaced his brother's constant presence. Faye checks on him with an unexpected tenderness, but Fez barely speaks. Nights are the hardest, filled with guilt and unresolved grief. He wonders if he ever had control over his life or if he was always walking a path written for him by circumstance. Still, he reminds himself of his promise to protect Rue, a promise that feels heavier now but no less real. Cassie walks through school pretending she's healed, but inside she is drowning. She tries joining clubs and forcing a cheerful personality, but every whispered comment chips away at her. Makeup becomes her armor, perfection becomes her obsession, and social media becomes her stage. She is desperate to reinvent herself yet terrified of discovering she has no real self left to protect. At home, Lexi watches silently, afraid one wrong word will shatter her sister even more. Lexi, fresh off the emotional aftermath of her play, receives praise and attention she never expected. She starts writing again, pouring her conflicted feelings about grief, family, and love into a new script. Every time she writes a gentle male character, Fez's face appears in her mind, though she refuses to admit it even to herself. Her mother reads her new pages and weeps, telling Lexi she has a rare gift. For the first time, Lexi starts to believe it. Nate spirals in a quiet, suffocating way. The anger he once weaponized becomes something that turns inward, eating him alive. Therapy forces him to confront memories he spent years burying. His father's gaze, the pressure to be perfect, the violence he inherited. On late-night drives, he questions whether he even knows what he wants from life. He stares at childhood photos wondering if any version of himself was ever real or if he's been performing since birth. A disturbing thought consumes him. He might become the very man he hates. Maddy finds a surprising sense of peace working with little kids at the daycare. Their innocence softens her edges, reminding her that gentleness exists. She begins dreaming of a future where she's not fighting for survival but building something meaningful. When she sees Cassie at school, anger flickers inside her, but pity does too. She's not ready to forgive, but she's ready to grow. Late at night, she practices speaking kindly to herself, hoping the affirmations will one day feel natural. Kat struggles with a new kind of emptiness, life without drama. She attempts to write again, but it all feels forced. For the first time, she admits she doesn't know who she is behind the persona she built online. The writing group she joins becomes a mirror she never asked for, reflecting the insecurities she hides. When she breaks down reading a piece about Ethan, the group holds her with compassion instead of judgment. Slowly, she feels herself becoming someone real. Gia feels invisible, overshadowed by Rue's recovery. She begins skipping class and sneaking out to parties where no one knows her as Rue's sister. When she witnesses someone overdose at a party, panic consumes her. Rue finds out, and the argument that follows shatters both of them. That night, Gia breaks down in her mother's arms, and Rue realizes she cannot heal by accident. She must heal in a way that doesn't leave Gia behind. Rue starts attending group therapy and forms a connection with Denise, a woman who lost her son to addiction. Their conversations are raw and grounding. Denise teaches Rue that forgiveness isn't something earned once. It's practiced daily. Rue begins writing letters to the people she hurt, pouring out her truth even if the letters never get sent. For the first time, Rue feels a flicker of self-worth. Scares her, but it also feels like hope. Jules explores a new relationship with Rowan, someone calm and grounded who teaches her emotional patience. Yet every step she takes feels haunted by Rue's absence. She wonders if loving someone new means erasing what she and Rue shared or honoring it by letting it rest. When she sees Rue in the hallway, her heart softens and tightens at the same time. Fez's court date becomes a looming certainty. Lexi visits with books and quiet support, sitting close without crossing emotional boundaries. Their connection deepens through silence and loyalty rather than dramatics. When Fez apologizes for missing her play, Lexi tears up, understanding everything he didn't say. They become each other's safe place during a time when both of them need one. Cassie continues spiraling behind a carefully constructed smile. Her breakdown in the school bathroom is witnessed by none other than Maddy, who unexpectedly comforts her. Their conversation is raw, hurtful truths mixed with reluctant empathy. Cassie realizes apologies won't fix her mistakes, but accountability might save her from herself. Nate's therapy sessions grow more intense. He begins to see the roots of his anger and the generational trauma he carries. Change doesn't come easily. His internal battle is violent and unpredictable. But there are moments when he finally admits he doesn't want to be his father. Whether he succeeds remains uncertain. Maddy receives a boutique job offer that terrifies her with its possibility. Her mother encourages her to accept it, reminding her she deserves stability. Maddy begins writing down dreams she once avoided admitting. Slowly, she imagines a future no longer defined by chaos. Kat forms healthy friendships in her writing group and finally feels seen without having to perform. Vulnerability becomes her strength instead of her fear. She builds a version of herself rooted in honesty rather than shock value. Gia reconnects with her mother, sharing moments of calm and rebuilding trust. One night, Gia hugs Rue unexpectedly, whispering she still needs her. Rue breaks down quietly afterward, realizing sobriety must include being a reliable sister, not just a recovering addict. Rue and Jules meet one evening under a fading sunset. Their conversation is gentle, filled with gratitude, regret, and mutual respect. They both accept that they need to grow separately, even if a part of them still loves what they once were. Rue walks away feeling bittersweet peace. Fez receives partial leniency, and Lexi cries with relief. Their quiet evenings together become a new routine. Books, soft conversations, unspoken affection. Fez finally feels a future that isn't shaped by violence or survival. The season ends with Rue standing on a bridge, the city lights shimmering below her. She doesn't feel fixed, but she feels present. She whispers a promise to keep choosing life, even when it feels impossible. Then she walks home slowly, letting the night breeze guide her. Her steps uncertain but filled with a fragile, honest hope she's finally ready to protect.